Y'all know every time they say we ain't gonna be with you long, it's like, forever. So how did you win today? How did you win today? What was the one thing that you saw? Hey Judy, that you could say, you know what? I can pull this out of my day. So I'll start with me. I for a Monday, normally my Mondays, y'all know how Mondays are. You've had a great weekend and um I don't know why it's coming up as Facebook user everyone. It's so odd. I don't know. I have to check into that because everybody's coming up as Facebook user, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. But anyway, so yesterday was Father's Day here in the United States, and we had a great day yesterday, and of course, Mondays for me is always like it takes me a while to get going, takes me, and then of course Monday it's like, okay, what is it? I'm looking at not just that day, but what does my week look like and everything. Yeah. Yeah, Bridget, I'm using StreamYard. Is that why it's coming up as Facebook user? Do they have to register with StreamYard? Yeah, because that's what I'm using. So anyway, so today, to make a long story short, for me, I had a very productive day. Got a lot done, and still have my whole week. But today was really good, and for the first half of the day until my phone just kept ringing and ringing, I just played worship music that just kept my heart and my soul and my mind very, very clear. Okay, guys, so you guys have to give StreamYard permission to post your name. So I don't know how you do that. I never checked into that. And is this something new? No, because when I post it, it will tell you StreamYard will. So you'll probably have to give it permission for those who are saying Facebook users. But Judy said her day was very intentional. So how was your day, guys? How did you win today? So my win today was that I was actually able to get a few things on my list done, and so I'm excited. I was pretty excited about that. And really, when I left my office earlier this evening, I felt like, okay, I got a lot of my things done. And so that was my win for the day. Let's see. Come on, Bridget, tell us, what's your win for the day? Juliet, what's your win for the day? Judy says her day was very intentional. We're going to talk about just a little bit about that for a second. Duquesta, if you're still on, what was your win? So Duquesta says my win today was I got grocery shopping done for the month. Ooh, that's a good win for the entire month. Now that right there is good. That's good. Yeah. Man, that's really good. Who else? Who else? Yeah, who else? Come on in. What's your win? Because today we're gonna talk about, I think I put on there, searching versus discovering. Gonna just talk about that a little bit because one of the things that's been on my mind a lot, really. There's several things that's been on my mind, but one of the things that I've really been thinking about is how so many times as we're on our journey in life, we just accept some things as this is how it's going to be, this is how it is. We use words like it is what it is, it's going to be what it's going to be. You know what I mean? And really, those aren't words that you really want to put into the universe. You really don't want to put, because believe it or not, wherever you are, whatever your belief system is, the words that you speak have power. And what you speak out loud and what you put into the universe, right? What you put in there, um is powerful, and what you say can actually come to pass, not actually, will come to pass in your life. So if you always have a well, is if you have a mediocre, I like to call attitude, or this is just how it is, I'm gonna just have to accept it, I'm gonna say no, 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 no. There's nothing. You choose what you want to accept. Facebook user says the universe delivers what you request. Yes. Another one person said, and relax for a couple of hours. whoever it is, relax. I'm sorry, guys. It's saying Facebook user. My win today, is being able to sit down and relax for a couple of hours. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to see if there's a way that I could get your names pulled up so I could know exactly who I'm talking to. But going back to where, your words have power. And so we many times go through life just accepting things as the way they are. And what happens when we do that, then we really don't feel fulfilled. Have you ever been, I know I have, where no matter what I'm doing, I just sometimes did not feel very fulfilled in my life. Really, there was a season in my life to where I just was not feeling fulfilled. I felt as if something was actually missing, and I didn't know exactly what that was. And so it bothered me because I'm a person, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure I'm not the only one out there. I like to know. Am I the only one? How many of you out there, you like to know the next steps, what's going on? If you're feeling this way, you want to know why you're feeling this way. Yeah, Yana, exactly. I'm not alone. So if this is you, come on, talk to me, tell me. I know that, I couldn't be the only one that's out there like that. But there was just a point, and I just kept searching, and that's why I put searching versus discovering. I just kept searching for for what was what I was missing, and I just kept searching. And then I started thinking, what is it really I'm searching for? Have you had it? I'm searching, but I don't know what I'm searching for. There's just something in me, and I don't know what, or not in me, and I don't know what it is. Sonia says, I don't like surprises. I want to know every step. Yeah, me too. Juliet said for self-care, for her win, she was able to do some self-care. Yay, very good. So, and I have a lot of Giannis. I'm not alone. And so one of the things that I made a decision is that it was time for me to begin to stop the search, right? To stop the search. And you may say, well, how do you stop the search? You stop and you say, let me sit back, and then let me make a list of how I'm feeling in every area of my life. And so in my spirituality, in my personal, in my relationships, whether it was marriage, it was friends, it was coworkers, whatever it is, you understand what I mean? I decided to make that list. And so I decided to make that list, so I could say, okay, what, where could the searching stop? Because I do believe that there's a difference between searching and discovering, And so way back then, it wasn't too long ago, guys. It was maybe about, just a few years ago, where it was just a season in my life that I knew there was more. There was just more for me. There was more for me to do, but there was just more. And I knew that I needed to fulfill that, but I didn't know what to do. And I didn't know what the obstacles were. And so I began to make that list. What's going on in my spiritual life? What's going on? Are my relationships healthy? Are they unhealthy? How about, choosing me and choosing my health and wellness over everything else, saying, you know what, I am choosing to be physically, mentally, emotionally healthy, right? And so once I made that decision, then I began to discover me. I began to do, I like to call it the journey back to me. To where I discovered what my likes and what my dislikes were. Listen, there was a time to where I lost myself. And have y'all ever felt that way? You've lost yourself in your children. You've lost yourself in your spouse. You've lost yourself in some other relationship to where you don't even know who you are because you're so engulfed in that other relationship. Sonia said, been there. Knowing there's more, but not knowing how to access it. Exactly. Knowing there's more but not knowing, excuse me, how to access it. And so really, that's exactly where I was. And so, I prayed. Yes, I fasted. I talked to God because I believe that I have a strong relationship with God. Not I believe, I know I do, but yet there was still something. And I needed to find out exactly what that is. So I began to unpack some things, y'all. I just began to unpack. And the first thing I began to do was I began to set my intentions. What intentions do I have? See, I believe that everything starts, well, let me go back. Everything starts with a decision. One decision. I made a decision that I was going to journey back to me and I was going to do whatever it takes to get me to come to where I am happy with me. I am feeling fulfilled. That void that was in me is now filled, right? And so I made one decision. And that decision was that I was going to take care of Esther and I was going to discover who Esther is spiritually, emotionally, you know, in relationships. I would go through every single part. And that is exactly what I did. And then I set my intention. So that's one. Make a decision. Make a decision that you're going to stop going around in a circle. Make a decision that you're going to get off of the mountain. Once you make that decision that this is what you're going to do, because it is always your choice, then you can now begin to look at how can I access what I need. Does that make sense? Set the intention, right? Yeah, exactly. One decision will be the catalyst for many others. Exactly it. Make a decision what you're going to do, right? Make a decision. And once you make that decision, set your intention. So I made a decision. I made a decision that I was going to journey back to Esther. I made a decision that I would make some changes in my life. I made a decision, y'all, that I wanted to become or to, let's say, discover myself more so I could be functioning in the best version of myself, right? I made a decision that anything that was hindering me from moving forward, right, that I would make those steps to stop it, to remove the obstacles. And once I made that decision, I set my intentions as to what exactly I'm going to do. I set my intentions. So you make a decision. You're just one decision away from your happiness, your joy, your peace. You're one decision away from discovering your greatness. You're one decision away from a journey back to yourself, a journey to health and wellness, a journey to emotional and social wellness, a journey back. You're just one step away. And when you make that decision, hey, Robin, when you make that decision, then you become very intentional about it. You set your intentions. Once you set your intentions, then nothing will veer you away from that intention. So I made that decision, right? And then I set my intention exactly as to what I'm going to do. So when I set my intention, right, that Esther is now going to discover who she is, and these are the steps, I began to research. I began to discover, let's say, because a part of discovery is research. In other words, I wasn't searching anymore because many times when you're searching for something, at least like it's like a computer. You go on Google and you Google something, then it'll lead you to another search, and it'll lead you to another search, and then another search, and then another search, and then you become overwhelmed because now you're just off you're just off searching for something off in the blue that wasn't even your intentions to start in the first place. Y'all, am I the only one? I know. Listen, because sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm gonna Google this and I'm gonna search this, and then I see something like that. Ooh, that looks interesting. Then I'll Google that. And, ooh, that, and then the next thing you know, it's all so much, so much, so much. It's like boom, shut down. Or it's like, okay, what was I looking for in the first place? Yo, I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one, right? And so, but that's what happens, right? But then when you go into discovery mode, it's like being a research. You know exactly. I'm on this road to discovery. I'm on the road to discover exactly who I am. I'm on this road to discover the greatness in me. I'm on this road. Exactly. Robin says distraction. Sonia says the rabbit trail. That's exactly it. And sometimes we could go on a rabbit trail and we come right back. But sometimes some of us, we will stay on that rabbit trail. We will stay in the searching mode, in the distraction mode, in the I don't know mode for years, months, time. It happens though. It happens. Right. And so the thing that I decided to do is be very intentional. And then I began to go on that discovery mode. And the discovery mode, exactly what you said, Judy, is I choose to serve me. I choose to discover exactly who I am. Set your intentions on the road to discovery, Latasha says. Yes, set your intentions on the road to discovery. That's exactly what you do. And that is exactly what I did. I set my intentions. And as I set my intentions, as I began on that journey back to Esther, and really not even back, let's say, to the original or Esther, but then becoming a better version of myself. Because on my road to discovery, as I every day I set my intentions as to what I'm going to do. I set my intentions as to who I'm going to connect with, what I'm going to study, what everything was very intentional, right? Because I was on this discovery for me, right? And so when I did that, y'all, I began to discover different things about me. I began to discover where I still had some hurt and pain. That's an obstacle. I began to discover where I struggled with unforgiveness. I began to discover that while I knew that God has this audacious and great plan for me, I didn't know all of the pieces of the plan. And I didn't know, of course, and God, I'm going to tell you, sometimes we don't ever know all of the pieces until we step out and we decide we're going to make a move. It's like that song, when you move, he moves, just like that. So, yeah. And so many times we don't even begin. What happens is we need to move, right? We need to move. We got to do something. People are always saying, sometimes I hear it all the time. I don't know about you guys. I'm just waiting on God. No, 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 no. You're not waiting on God. You're stuck. You're stuck. Because when you move, he'll move just like that, right? He will show you, and he may not reveal everything to you all at once, because then you may go into overwhelm mode, right? Or you may say, oh, wait a minute. You may even, oh, I can't do that. You may shut down. So then you start to move slowly, even if it's taking the needle steps. You just begin to move, and your movement should be forward moving, right? And so I began to do some forward moving, and I began to look at what are those obstacles that were in my way. And one of the obstacles that I saw as I began to discover myself was unforgiveness. I talked about this last week, right? Because it's just really been on my heart. And because unforgiveness is something that many times we don't even know that we're operating as. And by the way, that unforgiveness isn't just for other people who maybe have hurt you, whether it's in a relationship, coworkers, whatever it is, circumstances, situation, pain. But sometimes that unforgiveness is even for ourselves. We didn't forgive ourselves for this happening, or we did not forgive ourselves for eating unhealthy, or anything like that. I'm just throwing some things out there. Yes. Latasha says step by step discovery. Yes. So let me just post a couple of these things what y'all are saying. I love it because you guys are interacting with me. Yeah, because it's never a monologue. It is always a dialogue, right? Make choices by intentions or by default. Yeah. Yeah. And so here it is. I discovered unforgiveness, right? I discovered that I had unforgiveness in me where I thought I had forgiven, right? But the unforgiveness wasn't just for me forgiving others. It was really looking at myself and where I was on my road to discovery. And then what was some of my obstacles for me showing up as myself authentically, right? Why would I sometimes not show up authentically? One of the reasons, and I'm being very transparent, is because I had unforgiveness and I did not realize how deep that unforgiveness was. You know, because I'm thinking, hey, I'm good. I'm good. You do you, I do me. But there was unforgiveness, and the unforgiveness stemmed from a hurt or a pain that was from the past, right? And so in setting my intentions, in discovering myself, I discovered that I need to now forgive. I needed to forgive. But forgiveness many times is much easier said than done. And when we are looking at forgiveness, many times we say, well, I can forgive. I'll forgive, but I'm not going to forget. And no one is really asking you to forget, not even God. He's not saying forgive and forget. He's just saying, hey, let's work on forgiveness. And so forgiveness was something that I had to work on step by step. It is a process. Ashley says it is. It's a process that you have. It just doesn't come, boom, I'm just going to forgive you, right? And forgiveness is never for the other person. You guys already know this. Forgiveness is for us. And so what I'm doing is tomorrow night at I believe it's at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, I have a free masterclass where I'm speaking on forgiveness and giving you 3 keys to forgive and just letting it go, just letting it go, and being able to live a fulfilled life, or starting the process of that, right? I want to do it because I know how much I struggled, and I've had conversations the past few weeks, with people who are talking to me about, about forgiveness and how do you do it and the importance of it. And I'm just really struggling with forgiving this person. How can I move on? And the unforgiveness is stopping them from having a healthy relationship, even if if they don't want the relationship with that person, but it's stopping them from having healthy relationships with someone else. So how do we move past the barriers of unforgiveness? How do we move past and begin to transform from the inside out with forgiveness? And so that's what I'd like to talk about very briefly tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. You do have to register. Thank you. Sonia has posted the information, and Ashley has posted the information. So I'm going to put it up there. Yeah. So this is how it's a free masterclass. It's at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So if you've got time, go ahead and register and join me. And let's talk about how do we get past the hurt and the pain. All of us in this life have been in some level of hurt and pain. How do you get past the barriers of unforgiveness so where you can begin to transform from the inside out through forgiveness? Can I tell you, forgiveness is transformational. Forgiveness will totally change your life. Forgiveness will change the lenses of which you see people. Forgiveness is setting your intentions as well. Forgiveness, setting intentions to forgive, setting intentions to move forward. All of this comes together. And so I want you to join me tomorrow night. For it. I'm so super excited about it because this is a process, as I said, that I've gone down, and this is a process to where I hold very, very dearly. And so with forgiveness in my heart, something that's just transformed me, I'm able to handle different situations, look people in the eye, not avoid. I could enter in relationship because I feel as if I'm a whole person, right? And through the forgiveness, I've learned to basically embrace what's not even like me. And so much is in forgiveness. So join me tomorrow night. 3 steps. We're going to discuss 3 steps to just forgiving and letting go, because part of God's plan for you is for you to live a whole abundant life. Whole life abundance. And part of that whole life abundance is looking at every area of your life, and embedded in every area of your life, your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, right? Your physical, your financial, your physiological, all of that, your psychological, all of that. Forgiveness is in there. Some of us, we have to learn to forgive ourselves from how we spent money. or wasted money or whatever with money, our relationship with money. There's so many levels of forgiveness, so many levels of forgiveness, right? That's in it, that has to do with every area of our lives. And so tomorrow night, we're just going to talk about just 3 steps, 3 quick steps. How can you forgive and just let it go? And the benefits of forgiveness and how you can benefit from forgiveness so you can show up as the best version of yourself. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. And I want you to not just, register for yourself, but go ahead and register, invite someone, share the link and invite others. If you know that there's someone that just really needs to talk about how to forgive, how to release, how to let it go, how to do it, and what does it look like, and what does it mean, then go ahead and share the link with them and invite them to join me for the masterclass, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to have a dialogue with you on forgiveness. And these are keys. What I'm going to share with you. Thank you, Latasha. What I'm going to share with you are things that I did and actually worked for me. So it's not something I'm pulling out of the air and say, okay, y'all try. No, not at all. I used it. It worked for me. And I got to tell you, it is so liberating. I like to use the word cleansing as well. It is so cleansing, right? When you know that you can forgive from a cellular level, that it's in your cells, it's in your very being. It is so liberating, so liberating. So the masterclass, I want you to join. And then, of course, uh, 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 the masterclass is there. And then the other piece, and I believe that's in the link. Check out the God's Plan for You course. Check out the God's Plan for You course, because the God's Plan for You course talks about your limited belief system, talks about your relationship with money. It addresses prayer and really how do you do it and what's the purpose of it and how do you bring some things to pass in your life. Again, not things I'm pulling out of the skies, things that has actually worked. They're things that are truth, and looking at the words that you're speaking and what are you putting into the universe, because what you're putting out there is what you're going to get. And so I want you to come in and join in. Let's just connect and let's do life together. Let's transform together from the inside, from the inside out. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys very much. I can't wait to see you tomorrow night. Register and let's do life together. Make sure that you're sharing it. And if you are looking at the replay, please put on there hashtag replay, right? And put your name and what city you're joining us from. And then I'll see y'all tomorrow night at the masterclass. It's at no cost. So come on in and we're going to spend about 45 minutes to an hour together just discovering how to let go, how to forgive, how to walk freely, how to walk in a transformed life from the inside out. Thank you, Sonia. It is exciting. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. God bless you. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Bye-bye.